So there are three aspects really that all of this process is predicated on, rests on. And the theory for today will focus on one in particular. So the whole process of video interaction guidance, including formulating the helping question, is, in terms theoretically, is based in the idea of intersubjectivity. It's a hard word to say, intersubjectivity. So this is Trethartman's work about, how we make relationship. And we're going to talk more about that. And then that's underpinned, of course, by Bowlby's attachment theory. There's so many of these theories are, which is about being nurtured and nurturing, about safety and protection, so that bottom of the triangle again, and also Vygotsky's ideas of mediated learning. So this idea that there are things that we can do on our own, there are things that we can do with help, and in between those two spaces, we have the zone of proximal development. So how that's the space between. And actually the space between is what we're talking about with intersubjectivity, as we'll explore. How do we move from what we know to what we don't know? What's that mechanism for moving through that space between, the zone of proximal development? The focus today is really on intersubjectivity. So this is the idea that in child development, first, the infant establishes a firm foundation for optimal development. And this is built by the adult being attentive to the child while, and here's the important bit, while making space and watching carefully for the child's initiatives. So in video interaction guidance, we're always waiting for the initiative of the other, the client's initiative, the supervisee's initiative. And in the early stages, of course, the mother, the father is waiting for the child's initiative before they respond. And in this interaction, the child ideally feels safe. There we are again, bottom of the triangle, safe, loved, recognized. And this idea of being recognized, we're going to come back to again and again today. Safe, loved, recognized, and important. Important in the eyes, in the heart, in the mind of the other. Once the adult or the other, at the moment, we're talking about it in terms of child development, so I'm using adult, but this could be any other, mother, father, caregiver, helper, client, counsellor. The other, once the other responds to the child or the person's initiatives in an attuned way, we're talking here about contingent attunement. It's not just matching the affect, not just matching the emotion of the other, but feeling the emotion of the other and responding in that attuned way, which might not be an exact match. Then, at that point, when that space has been provided and fallen into, we can say, the relationship can move beyond the first part of the triangle. The relationship can move beyond that felt sense of a need for safety and protection. Please keep me safe, please protect me. And then into subjectivity. And in the place of intersubjectivity, we get all the other stuff. We get play, we get sharing, and we get that sense of social understanding, that sense of I'm held in mind and heart by you, and you are holding me in mind and heart. And once we've achieved that intersubjectivity, and we'll talk more about it, but once it's achieved, development can happen at a really natural pace. Development of the relationship, but also development of each individual person within that dyad or group, each individual person's sense of self. And that's where the mediated learning, that Vygotsky bit comes in, if you like, because then we've got space to explore. And actually the meaning making doesn't happen in my individual head and mind, or in your individual head and mind. The meaning happens again in that space between. The meaning making happens in the pauses where we're figuring things out and growing and becoming together. It's not an independent process. It's always an interpersonal process.